Welcome, welcome. Let's see. So twice. There we go. Okay. Well, I'm back. Welcome, welcome. Well, thanks, Stream Elements. That's working. Great. So yeah, welcome, welcome. It's been a while, hasn't it? I'll let you guys come in. Let me make sure everything's actually good to go here. Hope you guys are doing good. Welcome, welcome. Hi. You look new. How do I pronounce your name? I don't know. Really, it's a similar name to a chef. Okay. Still not. Translate, please. Dimitri? Cool. Okie dokie. Well, welcome. Welcome, Night Shadow. Welcome, welcome. It's good to see you. Still setting up a little. There we go. Yeah. I know it's been a bit. Setting up a little. There we go. Reset my face. Cool. Yeah, this should be fun. It should be not too out of the ordinary, I guess. But yeah, this week has been really pulling me down. It's been a rough week. But my vacation was good, so maybe we'll talk about that later. Yeah, let's see, so much going on. There we go. Cool. Okay. Let's see. There we go. Everything's still sort of working. We'll see how long things persist. But yeah, it's good to see you guys again. I know it's been a bit. So to explain what happened, let me see. Let's see. So hi, Shaman Judd and someone I can't pronounce. Thank you. Where I've been has been fun. It was a, let's see, it was sort of a semi-business trip for my mom, where she's part of one of these organizations or something, and they had a meeting, but it was across the whole state practically. Had to go completely all the way to the east side, like literally to practically the border. So it was a giant road trip, like 5 or 6 hours to get from the west side of the state all the way to the east side. And then there was a fun little bus tour around that little city there. So that was really fun. The whole trip was beautiful. Like all of the scenery was really great. And then it's like, well, honestly, there's not much more to do, for this, to play Voldem. So it's like, yeah, let's just take more of a road trip. Like we're literally at the border. Let's go across the state. That'll be great. It's like, well, the state's kind of pretty thin at the top anyway. Let's just go to the next one. So family drove practically 1, 2, maybe like 2.5 states worth this weekend. Did a whole bunch of sightseeing, a whole bunch of stuff. It was really fun. And then having to come home and then immediately go back into regular work was not that greatest transition. A lot of stuff was coming in. Stuff that, the other coworkers couldn't really work on because they were coming in on Monday and Tuesday. So I was like, well, thanks for picking up anything that was urgent that I was not there for, but when I was gone on Thursday and Friday. But I was like, well, here's more stuff. I kind of came in, so kept it at a general minimum, but it was still still hard to get in there. But yeah, it was a bit bit tough with all that. Welcome. Hello. Little Peaky Pie picture profile. I can't read your name. Now if you had like a katakana or hiragana or something, like a Japanese, I'll be able to read that a little better. So I know that much, but yeah, unfortunately, Cyrillic or whatever that is not my specialty. So sorry about that. But welcome though. Hope you're all doing good because I've been less than ideal. There's a bunch of rush orders. You know, can you get this done by end of day? And whole bunch of orders that came in, and some questions that I need to figure out. So, yeah, it's don't want to bog too much down, but yeah, just try to simplify it. But yeah, want to make it sound not that bad. Then it's like I'm complaining, but it's also like it was a lot. But yeah, anyway, should we get started? I think this will be good for you guys. This might be it. This is Blender. You can see it's a 3D engine. It's getting bigger and better of like different features over the years. Definitely since 2.8 release, it's been constantly been like every month or so getting a new release. So that's been really fun. I made a lot of the all of the Paper Derpy 3D assets, the backgrounds, the sets, and animations were in Blender. So might have shown that a couple months ago where I did a couple tours of different backgrounds and stuff, but everything was made in Blender. And then put the Paper Derpy characters inside of here, and then rendered a whole plate as just one big export. So thankfully my characters are meant to be flat, so it's okay. Welcome. Hey Mario. I've been okay. My vacation was fun, but it's a little rough getting back to work this week. But hopefully you're doing okay. But in Blender, I've mostly been doing 3D work, so I haven't been utilizing that. Whoops, they added several, it feels like a lot of updates ago, but probably, it's only been a year or something, of adding 2D animation. They have a grease pencil. I don't know why it's called that, but they add 2D animation. Full canvas, constantly rendering. Let me just do this. Let's see. I'm gonna remove. I'll keep the cube. I won't delete it. I'll just hide it and then have it not appear in visibility up here. Might be on the edge. Let me get this over a little bit if I go into my green screen. There you go. What do I do for my job? My job is a trophy engraver. It's probably the most technical of it. When there's a award or trophy or perpetual plate, plaques, trophies, awards, medals, all that fun stuff. Someone's got to make it. Someone's got to inscribe the name of the event and the person who won it. There's like a little sticker at the bottom, little gold sticker or on a medal. The inscribing words of that. I would, in a computer, write that out, design it, and then print it out on the different materials. So it's really fun, but sometimes gets a little hectic, especially last week. I want to start to learn how to do this, but yeah, I think I gotta add a grease pencil object. So I haven't done much. I watched a whole bunch of tutorials and a bunch of videos this week and learning some stuff, but obviously I'm gonna get to a point where it's like I'm gonna try and experiment and it's gonna get not good. Let's try to monkey first because that's probably already pre-built. So I can kind of figure out what's going on here. So this is Suzanne, I think. Let's see, the light's not working. I can probably turn the light into a sunlight. Let's see why. There you go. Bring that up. Oh yeah, it's really rewarding. Like every time, a lot of people like, you know, come back and say, yeah, thanks for doing that. Selectable. I can make it like unselectable maybe. That means I can't. Yeah, I can't select it now. So it's basically locked. But yeah, it's really fun to do awards because I can flex my design skills and have it be moderately easy to, you know, there's not much pressure sometimes. I guess there's other types of pressures, I guess, that goes along with it. But it's definitely rewarding, you know. But with video, it's like it can go out and you can easily be canceled immediately after a video. So it's like, well, you know, I'm literally gonna follow paint by numbers what you designed or something, you know. The worst things that happens is that when you misspell a person's name and they come back and say, hey, that's not my name, and they get upset and it's like, I have 2 I's and Haley, and it's like, what? So I have to do a bunch of redos sometimes, but usually it's hopefully on a sheet or something that on an individual piece of metal or plastic, and I could just replace that. Sometimes they're, can I annotate? Sometimes you know, you get the, you know, the usual like cup trophy or something like this, where it's got the swoopies or something. Anyway, but what I would deal with is the design of what this says. And so I get the little inscription here. So that's all me right there. Sometimes you get this engraved, but it's like, usually I don't deal with that part. The machines that I handle don't really work with those. So yeah. Erase is not button. Let's see what erase is. I don't know. Maybe I can select it. I don't know how to delete annotations. Annotation eraser. Blender's so nice. Okay. Let's see. Think of AI. I've done AI just as like tests and stuff. Or like I have questions and it's like, well, maybe this might be easier, you know, to do it. Or I think one time I got like lazy and was just like, I'm just gonna. We wanted to like have a higher post and announcement for like, we're hiring at Midnight Mares as a background artist, which I guess you guys can apply if you want. But it was like, well, either I could write out a whole thing and try to figure out what the syntax of all of that is, or I could just, you know, say like, I want, you know, I went into chat and said, ChatGPT, and said, hey, can you give me a post that includes some of this stuff, and, you know, give me some stuff that'll be nice. And it was like, oh, here you go. And it's like pretty much what an official post looked like. So I was like, cool, okay, that'll do. And I said, hey, can you make it a little bit simpler and like add a couple more stuff into it? Like I wanted to add that this will be a paid position and stuff. So I forgot that. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. So it simplified a couple of stuff out, took out some of the more unnecessary pieces, and added that it was a paid position. So I was like, cool, okay, done. You know, I didn't have to like really learn. I read through it all, and like I did edit it a little bit throughout, but it's like, well, that's done. So for those kind of stuff, it's like if it's not a creative per se quest, then it's like, yeah, sure, I guess for these more businessy kind of things where it's literally just I need to make an email, you know, just make it for me, I don't care. But if it's something like this where it's like, do I want AI to make this monkey? It's like, no, I still want to do it. I'll do it myself. I'm gonna see. I thought there was a way to make the lines the same black as this. Well, I've worked with Midnight Mares. Midnight Mares is kind of a conglomerate of different things now. There we go. I can turn off that and that becomes darker. If I turn this up, I can get that kind of thickness there. Problem is that I don't get the... There we go. I probably pump this up a lot to get used to that. Yeah, okay. A little thicker. So I've worked with animators for about a year or so, and I did some animation, some of the trailers that are on the Animators YouTube I've done. I was the sole animator, but it just kind of got a little probably too big as a project, especially one person and wanted it to be done within a reasonable amount of time. And it's like, oh yeah, that's not gonna happen. It's sorry. So, and I just need to find other stuff as well. That's new. Okay. Is that a function? No, I'm trying to figure this out at the same time, and it's like, oh, okay, that's how this works. Huh. Yeah, that's a shape. Cool. Yeah. It's interesting. I don't like it for art. Yeah, I think maybe it can come for medical stuff, business stuff. Yeah, it depends. With medical stuff, I probably wouldn't trust something that's actually, needs to be 1000% accurate. I wouldn't trust AI, especially at this point with the stuff that I've seen, especially responses that I get. It's like, oh yeah, like even just doing like some simple stuff with chat. It's like, hey, can you tell me this technical thing? Like, can Toon Boom do this? And it's like, yes, click the animate button. And it's like, there's no animate button. Or like, give me stuff that's like not even true. And it's like, wait, what? So you always have to, have an eye for like, not 100% trusting it. I think that's what most, AI bros are like not wanting to admit, kind of a thing. That's like, the AI won't be 1000% accurate. And it's like, then there's no point really to a lot of it then, where it's like, well, couldn't I just look that up anywhere else, or like have actual accurate information just by literally just searching for it? I understand like maybe make it a website or something, those kind of, like, or give me ideas for, I asked like for my birthday, I'd say like, hey, I'm gonna be this old, I want this kind of a theme, what can you suggest? And it's like, oh, okay, you're not 6 years old, so we're not gonna do Pin a Tail on Donkey. Maybe you can play some of your favorite songs and maybe get your favorite cake. And it's like, actually help me get ideas. And I think that was more worthwhile than, for those kind of stuff. It's like, okay, those kind of examples are fun. Idea generating, or, doing a lot of like fan fiction kind of stories where it's like, oh, let's do these characters and maybe do something with them, or what can it do, or and sometimes understands that when I say one character is like, oh, you mean this character from this series? Oh, okay. And then later on it's like, and then this other character from the same series appears, and it's like, whoa, what the like, is able to recognize as like, whoa, I wanted these two characters to somehow be in the same world, and it just kind of knew. So I was like, that was cool. What am I doing? I'm just playing around at this point. I should probably explain some of this before I go too off. Let's see. Machines? Up here. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Let me get on track here before I get too off here. I am learning grease pencil because I want to make a Halloween animation, and I had an idea where I wanted to have a shadow puppet display, and so I wanted to like draw all the different shapes for the shadow puppet theater. Be like a, oh dear, let me get back to lines. It'd be like a pumpkin kind of thing. Like a jack-o'-lantern. And then this will be filled in, and then I'll be able to have a sheet in front of it in 3D space and then shine a light behind it. And then it'll be like a shadow puppet show where then this can then kind of dance around. I ran into some technical problems though. Let me go into that other thing here. Bubble hide. I'm just gonna swap over to my other file here, but if I do open recent, then it shows my paper derpy stuff that I'm not ready to show yet with the file names. So I'm just gonna go to there. There we go. Okay, so this was my test. We'll see. I should start with there. I'm using cycles, so it's gonna be a little. See how it's kind of like builds it up in pixels and little jaggies there. So I have a bunch of different tests here that I've been trying to figure out. I did this all like kind of last night to figure out all the different ways that I wanted this to sort of work. And so I just did a bunch of different scenarios with all the different types of objects that I wanted to try it out. So I got the main bedsheet kind of object at the front, and it has a low alpha, and alpha is transparency or how see-throughable it is. So they set it a pretty low. That means how much you can see through it. And so I got the sheet there in front, the camera is over here on the left, and then I got the bigger purple backdrop over here. And so I just played around of trying to get in the lights here, this little circle here. Hopefully I'm not lagging out too much, but it looks like I probably am. Hopefully this sounds okay. Probably have to turn this down, but then I can't see it. So maybe I can swap over to Eevee. Hopefully that's... It's weird. Oh, that actually kind of works. That's kind of cool. In theory, then I've been trying to figure out like what's the best way to do this. Don't seem to be laggy. Okay, good. Maybe I'll switch back at some point. At least for now, it's just easier to walk you through what I got so far. So I got different variations of different things. Like I played around with this block, which does it have a material? It should be the blue one. That's the problem is that there's two different, two main rendering engines inside of here, inside of Blender. And so Eevee is kind of the fast and dirty kind of render, and then Cycles is more accurate and it has actual different properties. Like if I switch back to Cycles and then look over, it's able to figure out that I wanted the bedsheet in front and to do the colored boxes, because these boxes have colors to them and materials to them. So it's like, well, why does it only work in one rendering engine? So, okay, with the effect that I want. And I was like, well, great. Now I'm stuck in this rendering engine, even if I don't want to use it. So, anyway, welcome, Epsi. Hello. Playing around with shadow puppets now. Yeah, because see, the problem is that... Go back to solid. Let's go back to wireframe. It's really laggy on my end, so that's the kind of view you're getting now. So this is a cube. This is this cube, which has the image texture. So I tried different stuff. You can see like I have a solid block that's this blue one. So it's probably easier to map it out this way. So I got the blue one, the blue box, so I can see if a solid object can do the transparency, which it can, which is super uber node kind of setup. Because it literally has a transparent BSDF and then just a color and applies that all the way through to every side of the cube. Welcome, Chad. Welcome. What's up, Boris? Yep. And then I got this image cube that I just stole one of my paper derpy images from one of the shots of apparently 28. Interesting. I just applied that with UV editing. I think it's from chapter 6. So just one of like derpy. It's kind of feeling how I am right now, trying to make this work. And apply that to all of the sides. That seems to be the worst result. So I've been trying to figure out like what's the best method to do a shadow puppet, and it's like, well, so does like solid cubes with solid geometry with transparency work the best, or does image textures work good? Can they work? With the setup of trying to put a transparent bed sheet in front and then putting the light behind it, what shines through? Kind of an experiment. And this was my last one, which was like, well, everything else doesn't work, so let's just, I don't know, throw this out. And it's like, well, this is the best one. Where it's literally just a whole bunch of, it's just a solid flat sheet of polygons. So topology is horrible, but it works because you don't see it. This is the purple one, which I could change to be whatever color I want. So now it's green. I want it blue. Now it's blue. Kind of deal. So yeah, this method of just it being where'd it go? I thought I would have nodes. There they are. The problem is that these nodes exist in a very open space here. It's transparent BSDF. Probably works the best if I want to do. So I think with the Derpy one, I did the same thing, where it's just different colors. So if we wanted to have green here, I could do that. So it applies the material color to the polygons with the way that I set it up. So I'm able to do stuff like that on the fly very easily. And then I tried, my first guess, I actually tried the first time, was to use a grease pencil object. I can turn this one to wireframe. So this is a grease pencil stroke. It's a stroke object. How did I draw it? I probably drew, I don't know. That's the best way to look at it. So it's just a drawing with colors and fills, and it works as a drawing, but as soon as I want to make it visible through my bed sheet again, through the front, with this front thing, it's like it's hit or miss. Obviously, if it exists as a transparent object that you can see through it. And so that's the problem, is that you can't, it doesn't want to go through my transparent sheet. And it's like, I don't know why. That's the problem, is that I usually have ideas that like apparently mix too many different concepts together. And so I'm sure the developers of like, you know, they would make like different teams of like, you were part of the grease pencil team, and then, you know, way longer will be the shadows of light people and transparency people. You know, they wouldn't think to then try grease pencil with transparency, or try it with all the different types of objects. And it's like, I've run into it a lot with like trying to make projects where it's like, I have an idea, how about X plus Y? And it's like, apparently that doesn't work a lot of the times. And it's like, oh, well, now what? Now what do I do? Because like I want grease pencil through a transparent object, and it's like, nope. Even through Eevee, it still doesn't work. So I switch to Eevee. Then the bedsheet disappears because it's a weird, different type of. I'm trying to figure it out. Welcome, Cookie. It's good to hear from you again. Let's see how you guys doing. If we can learn 3D, yeah. It really doesn't even have a non-commercial version. Yeah. I think my 3D journey, I learned 3ds Max first, and that was okay. And then I learned a little bit of Maya, a little bit, not very much, like a week or so. I was like in school, like in high school or something. There was a class on that. Learned Maya a bit, and then let's see, a little bit of After Effects, if that counts, with some 3D engine. With the, what was the After Effects one called? Cinema 40 or something weird. It's like, why is it 40? And then for the movie, I was like, I want 3D objects, but After Effects wasn't working with the 3D way that I wanted to align things and have polygons in it. So I was like, okay, I'll try Blender, maybe it'll be fine. And then that's what I've been doing since then. So I'd used a Blender for about 6 or so years then, I guess. I don't know how long. Yeah, it's been great. I've really got accustomed to Blender. Problem is that I want to learn more, but that means that I have to, learn that there's limitations now. I'm gonna render this. I'm not sure this will work. So see you on the other side, I guess, so I can see what this Eevee looks like. Beep 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 beep. Yeah, see. So this is the output. It just rendered. Eevee is extremely fast, so I was able to get the picture immediately. The problem is that my I want to say bedsheet, but that's what it is. My bedsheet is transparent, and then some of the colored. This is blue or something, and this is the purple one. I don't know what the colors were again. Yeah, I can't see it, but it's like also my colored materials are not shining through as well as my bedsheet, but we can see that the grease pencil works. It's not being cut off, unlike the Cycles version. If I go back to Cycles, or try to load it in. Okay, this might not work. Buy stream if that happens. Okay. Yee. So now it's gonna compute a lot. My computer is probably gonna die. Who knows? Is actually doing pretty okay right now. Hopefully, I'm still alive. I was scared of this. This is like the most heart-pounding moment right now. But as you can see, like it's only doing like a couple samples right now, and you can kind of see make out like what's going on. You get okay. Thank you. I can see from my input that my Derpy is kind of slow. It's doing okay. Yep, actually it worked. Okay, cool. So from this test, we can see that the grease pencil object over here gets this kind of grainy, kind of like sand. It's made out of sand kind of texture. But it is visible, so that's good. I think last time I had to do a whole bunch of tests to like even make this work or to actually go through. So it's like, cool, okay. Colored textures work. This one as well. But image texture does not work. So that was interesting. And basic colors, materials work. So it's like, if I want this effect to work, it's like, well, now that I know that image don't work, but maybe colored textures work, so that's good. So, yeah, there was a lot of work trying to figure this out. So, my next thing was to figure out like what else, just make this easier to render. Was to figure out like, well, what's my next step is to maybe do more of this style where it has just a basic geometry with the materials and not try to do grease pencil. But I was thinking that to make all the objects that I want to make, it'd be easier if I have something already drawn and sketched out, have a sketch and then kind of trace on top of it. So I was like, well, what's the best way to do that? Grease pencil. So it's like I have to draw it first and then on top of it go it with 3D points to go around it, make an object and then colorize it with the materials. It's black, but it's actually will render out as yellow because that's what the color is. I don't know why it is material. It's not showing up as a color that it should be. Because this one's red. I don't know. So, anyway, this is what I've been playing around with the last couple days. Supposed to figure this out, but really, I now know Cycles plus regular geometry, not grease pencil. Grease pencil almost works, but it's get that grainy effect that I guess I need to do more point samples, but then at that point it'll just take days to render, and it's like, do I want to do that when I can, or just do it a little bit simpler with that? So that's where I am right now. But I just want to learn Grease Pencil on its own so I can maybe do something similar. So let me go back to my other project. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is where we left off. So let me go back and just kind of delete Susan and start afresh. I think I need to make a blank object, go into edit mode or draw mode, and then I should be able to draw. So this will be an object and it'll exist in 3D space, so I can go to the side and it'll be flat. So that's cool. As well as this stroke, I believe, this is what I'm trying to test more stuff, is that can I do this and then have it exist in 3 dimensions now? Check that out. And then I can do it from the top maybe and do another circle. And so now it really exists in 3D space. So you can do a whole bunch of stuff like with this kind of trippiness here. You probably like put a whole 3D object in here, and then like, you know, you could have a 3D object that exists in real space and then draw on top of it with your little outlines or draw little textures on directly on top of it or something. Because you could do like directly on top of, that's the pencil style. I'm sure there's a way to do that. Layer, probably something like that. But yeah, draw directly on the surface. Yeah, surface. Let's try that. So if I go back to object mode, welcome. Let me wave. Woo. Hopefully it streams back to regular 60 or so. If you're watching it in a good monitor. Object mode, give me. I still have my cube. It was there the whole time. Move you out of the way. And let's make a blank draw mode. Give me a new color. Give me green. And so now draw mode plus surface projected from this is what I'm learning. So I can do it from my view or literally from one of these sides. If I do front, I don't know which way is front. I'll just do from view. And if I draw just that, then hopefully it'll stick. Okay. So learning that almost works. There's probably some extra modes I can do. There's a bunch of different types of modifiers specifically for grease pencil lines. So I'm probably trying to figure it. This is grease pencil effects. I can do all of this fun stuff. Unfortunately, like I would probably prefer some of these magic effects to be on regular geometry, and I guess I don't know why that's not a feature yet, because these sometimes are pretty cool. So maybe I do want my objects to be kind of blurry. Rendered. Yeah, there we go. You can see how it's goes from regular to very, very blurry. Ew. So you do a lot of fun types of effects that's like not really possible with regular 3D. Yeah, it's kind of like probably just minimize mention this stuff. So anyway, learning this to maybe see if I can draw for the shadow puppets. I can, you know, draw that pumpkin again, and then that's not a pumpkin. You know, draw a jack-o'-lantern, and then I'll be able to go in object mode and then make a new mesh. Give me like an empty point that to do. Yeah, I could do a single vert and then add a single vert somewhere. There it is. And then maybe I can extrude it and then grab these guys. And then it's hopefully possible where I can subdivide this. And then get an extra point. And then I guess I can just keep doing this. If I get this line, subdivide points, and then that. So it's probably going to take a while for some of the more complicated ones, but this was my plan, was to figure this out maybe. Point. And then if I hide the grease pencil, you can see that I already got a shape going on, but I have to kind of keep going back and forth between a lot of this. And if I just want these to be connected, I can just bring these guys close to each other and then say merge at last or at first, I don't know. And then I can select all these and say bring it to a mesh and fill it with a point of fill. And then maybe I can do, obviously I haven't done the other side of it, but I could do a mirror modifier if I find that. And flip it on the one of these axes. What even axis would this be? I think it's over there. So in that case, I need to cursor to active. Give me yeah, because of the active, right? Or maybe we had a whole thing. So I want my 3D cursor, which I can't see. It should work. Or I could probably just bring all of this back to here, and then there we go. And then just play with this. Yay. Now I got it duplicated. Sorta. And now I got a shape. So that's cool. And I can do shade smooth maybe. So when it's a object, so when it's being lit, a little shaded smooth a little bit gooder. And I can do another modifier of subdivision surface, which is always the most amazing, like, boop. That almost worked. Obviously that works, but I think I need to add some more loops into here to make this work. So I need to add more geometry, which means I need to bisect this line a little bit. And then maybe bisect this one, and then bisect this one. And then just to round it out a little. Probably can cheat with some of these and just kind of literally just move it over. And then let's do some clipping and merge at a certain point. Okay, and then let's knife this out. I'll get a knife, and then it'll just magically, I guess, figure that out for me. And then delete the face here, and then I probably need to 3 select these guys, insert maybe. I'll get rid of my subdivision. You know, sometimes you can do all this crazy stuff, but maybe it'll just kind of look okay when it's kind of already kind of jaggy. So that's kind of the look I was kind of going for anyway, where it would be kind of a little more chaotic. I'm gonna get my pen out. This be easier. Up, down, up, down. And I can do that. And delete this face. Delete as a face. There we go. And then if I want to play with this more, play with it like that. Maybe add one more point. And it's like flat pumpkin, and it cannot be a flat pumpkin as I can select everything, E to extrude, and now it's 3D. Or we also could have just done that with a solidify modifier as well. That does the same thing. Wow, wow. So there you go. Probably want to go back to shade flat. Might work better for this particular model. And then maybe you can bake this. I think there's a way to apply my modifier. And now this exists. And I can add a loop cut into there and just add a little bit more geometry. And so now it's kind of 3D with that. Obviously that was super simple, but it's like, yeah, you can use this, and then in the shadow puppet, it'll be, you can kind of fly around or something, have a stick on it or something. Yeah. There you go. And I did that because I knew what my drawing with my other pumpkin looked like. Probably apply my mirror. And so now, I didn't draw my mouth. Shift tab, draw mode. So I should be able to. There you go. So now I had my sketch, and then I kind of traced around it, and then made a bunch of points, and then made this into an object. Let's go ahead and squish it down. And if I want to color it, let's add a new material and call it orange. A little lighter. And so it'll look like that. Because I already added applied the modifiers. I think the only one is the subdivision, which doesn't work. So we'll get rid of that. And then I know what my leaf looks like. Sometimes it's kind of easier where I just add a plane that just gives me 4 verts to play with, and so I can really just go to town with this now and use my picture over here as a rough, and so now I can see that I like an extra point here and here, and then go from there. And let's see if I can just duplicate my mesh, and then play with this to get my leaf. Maybe I want one more for here. And then let's add some more colors. Yeah, this will be my green. So that gets me that. And I can do another material, which will be kind of this orange, but just darker. So I can literally just get this and then bring the saturation and value down and apply it. And I can solidify these or maybe bring them to the right Z depth and then just extrude a little bit. So, oh, jack-o'-lantern. Really, 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 really low poly jack-o'-lantern. So let's actually play more with grease pencil, maybe. That's what we're here for. We can kind of do it on somewhat of a surface or not, I guess. Download from view. So maybe from lock to Y. Okay. Does that mean I look at it from Y? Like if I draw another one, does that make it? That's closer. Is there like an offset? Guides. I don't see any guides. Circuit radio. Use snapping. I get these off. Is that in that point down there? I don't know what that is. Huh. Maybe I can go to X and have it be from XZ to Z. This is where I'm learning. See, it didn't quite work out. So if I bring it back to Y, it still doesn't work. Let's do Z. You can see my mouse is going in a circle. So that means I am not understanding. Well, it turned out to plane it. That worked. This old, I want to call it a picnic bench. What is it? Use guides. Enable speed guides? What? That's getting close. I don't know why it's still not on the actual surface or something. Unless there's another modifier or something. There's shrink wrap. Target the box. Yeah, see, that's what I expected, was that it's gonna be like on the box when I click on surface. It's still not on it though. You can see that. And if I just kind of set the offset to like basically 0. Smooth factor? I don't know what that is. Yeah. I don't know why it was like why. Huh. If I draw another line. Yeah, because now this object is having a shrink wrap modifier. That means now if I draw something, it'll kind of like, see how it kind of like clicked in after I draw it. It's pretty thick. That's fine. Oh, let's just bring it to 0. Because the lines are so thick. Let's see. Does distance from object change thickness if I draw it in the next line? A little bit, but it's also probably just the way that I have the strength and radius kind of set to. Let's get rid of those then. Try again. So I set that to be okay. Yeah. Okay, that's good. So that means it's consistent to whatever this pixel size is from there. Huh. Interesting. What would you want to see on this side? Maybe another draw horse. using my tablet, which makes this 1000% easier. Okay. And that should stay, yeah, a little graffiti. That's fun. Let's try to get our tools, and let's also get rid of my vert. I can see kind of the smoothing is a little bit weird now. They're kind of like curves. They're these drawing lines. See how they're all made out of points, like the same as the as a polygon pumpkin, which I lost. It's all made out of points. So I'm wondering if I go into like edit mode. Yeah, that's what I expect, is that these are made out of individual points now. If I go into, I've heard that there's sculpt mode, which has its own fun stuff going on, is that I can smooth this. So if I don't want like a certain this to be kind of jaggy, you can kind of just go through it and smooth it out. They might be wondering, why don't you go through every line and do this? And it's like, well, obviously some lines are okay, but kind of removes some of the personality a little bit of it too. I know I just went through all of it, but I was like, I just kind of wanted to see right then what it would look like actually. Yeah, because see, it kind of, on this line in particular, kind of moved this one from like this point here, and then it moved to boop over there. So it overcorrected it. It can overcorrect the lines a little bit too much sometimes. So you gotta have like the strength of this maybe a little bit lower. Also, it's based on my pressure sensitivity. So I really go with that, or really lightly. It should be a little different. Huh. Thickness, adjusted thickness. Okay. Whoa, cool. I see a plus. Does that mean add effector brush or subtract effector brush? Now if I remove, is that, oh, that does that. Oh, that's cool. That's in, if I wanted this to be a little thicker to match that one, I can maybe put this down to 0.1 or something. Yeah. Want this line to be thicker. This one needs to be thicker. I can do something like that. Bulk it up a little. That's cool. Huh. Let's try strength. Adjust color. What? Color strength of strokes? I don't even know what that means. I don't have any colors though, so I don't know what that's, yeah, that's not really doing too much. Randomize, introduce jitter, randomness, and strokes. Oh, there we go. I just wasn't looking. Yeah. If I do it a bunch, yeah, that way makes it real wiggly. Grab. Translate the set of points initially within the brush circle. So within the brush circle, and then grab it. Okay. I can see that'd be useful. For like really, problem is that there's always so many points. That's usually my pet peeve with like some of these kind of drawing vector tools, is that they usually add too many points for like something that can't just be 1 or 2 points and then be done. But the way that it likes to really make this work is that, oh well, no, you gotta have this many points for like one line. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, can I even edit mode? Do I need to be in sculpt mode still? Can I be in cutter, dropper, make lines, interpolate? Ooh, it's not like a shape tween. Okay. Oh, cool. I haven't seen these. Auto merge. Add weight data for new strokes. Oh, okay. Huh. He's added the drawings for creating new frames as strokes from the previous active frames are included as basic new ones. Okay. Edit strokes from multiple responsible keyframes at the same time. Keyframes must be looking like. So, okay. Yeah, I was thinking like when I was starting to like learn all these different features, like I was reading tutorials and stuff and watching videos, I was like, huh. I don't know how much of a, you know, game ender this will be for like Toon Boom or something. But just the amount of like 2D stuff that's like, well, compared to like Flash, is like, well, this is actually pretty good. The way that the amount of features that there are here, it's like, wow, that's, dang, it has a cutter. Flash doesn't have a cutter where you can just kind of delete some of the lines if you don't want it. But then like the circle, beep, threshold, flat caps. Oh, okay, flat caps. Okay, that's, wow. I made a flat cap. You don't know how cool that is. Wow. I don't think, yeah, I don't think Toon Boom can do that. But it definitely has a cutter, which is always amazing. Huh. I can sculpt this, I can do grab mode, and kind of push this over here. Go into, well, this is gonna be annoying. Go into, what did I want? Is that in draw mode? Cutter. And then say I want this line gone, and it moves that line. If I don't want this line, so there's bips. It's kind of like an advanced erase tool, but it's like it's more contextual. We're able to see like where somebody's overlaps, and it's like I can just remove one of them or the other. If I don't want this line, I can remove it. That's, yeah. It kind of gets it bit by bit, so that's still pretty cool. Huh. Okay. So I have to like learn. It's like, okay, if I want to sculpt, I can move this down. And go back into smooth, and then kind of play around this a little bit more. Wanted to have this overlap, but maybe that's not an easy thing. Probably just go into edit mode or something, and then say, hey dot, I don't want this many dots. I probably could have done, yeah, points. I probably could have done just my initial drawing. I probably could have said like, have it be a little bit less in terms of, I didn't select anything. A little bit smoother. I kept that one. I mean, Toon Boom still does this, where it's kind of got a lot of overlap stuff. It's probably still complicated for a lot of drawing tools. There's kind of like interactivity, where it's like, how do you want certain lines to look, or how to, when you put two lines over each other, what do you want the outcome to be? There's still a little bit of like, what am I supposed to do? Did I say merge? No. I want merge. Does that to be grease pencil? No. I'm pressing the first letter instead of the. Clean up, recalculate geometry. That's the thing. Okay. Let's try do an animation where I can have her kind of blink or something. So I've heard that there's keyframes I can do. I think I'm still on my one layer. I only have one color and it's a line. Oh, you can see behind me. Okay, and then yeah, loose lines. Let's turn that off. Now I've heard that there might be, these are layers. Interesting. And then remove a layer, move the layers up, isolate layer, lock layer. I need a dope sheet. Oh, there we go. I can set up keyframe. So now, what was all that about? The next, that's me in drama. The next drawing, these are the next drawing things. Okay, hang on. Blah. I'm so excited, my nose is drippy. Okay. draw strokes on back. I want auto merge. Ooh. Draw by distance. Last drawn stroke for previous stroke in the active layer. I don't quite understand that. So, okay, join by distance. Last drawn stroke with previous strokes in active layer. Why don't we just try that? So, draw. Here's a stroke. Whoop. Oh, yeah. Draw stroke. And then auto merge. Are they auto merged? I'm going to turn off auto merge. They're not auto merged now. But now they are. Yeah. Maybe it works. I'm not sure about that one. Weight data. I think that's vertex group. Oh, maybe it's the vertex weight. There's weight painting, which is big for rigging, where in 3D you don't get like, if you just put a bunch of bones in and then say, hey, parent it to the object, the mesh, it doesn't automatically work. Even if you put automatic weights, there'll still be some oddities, especially if there's like frilly accessories, or, you know, if I have like an earring or a dress or something that's flowy, it's like it's not gonna work perfectly because the leg bone might connect to the dress or something. So you gotta set up like weight painting, which is its own whole thing. So you can set up certain values to polygons, so the bones know how much influence it needs. So with a leg bone, you can set up the weight painting so it'll only affect the polygons that are on the leg. And sometimes with automatic painting, it might also then include and kind of go a little too far into like the dress or something, and so that the dress would also move. So it can turn off the influence and set those down to 0 so that they won't be affected by when you move the bone. That kind of stuff. That's a lot of work. I've tried that and it's like, well, geez, how long it takes to weight paint. And it's literally like painting. Okay. In creating new frames, the strokes from the previous active frames are included as the basis for the new one. I think that's self-explanatory, but also kind of nice. Multi-flame, edit strokes from multiple grease principal keyframes at the same time. Edit strokes from previous keyframes at the same time. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a pretty old kind of style where you can, Flash has it where you can set up a span of keyframes and they can move or translate or whatever that certain amount of keyframes. Like if something started to slip down, you can grab that bunch of frames and only that certain selection and then move it over. So that's nice. But I think let's try additive drawing just for now and then go to new keyframe. Now how do if I just start drawing, does it? Whoa! That's over there. What about its ghosties? Whoa! Did I do that? I'm just gonna undo that. I don't know. That's weird. That's new. Onion skinning. Keyframes, just frames. Opacity, filter by type. Guess what code is. Usually before is red, and then you're going to the future, I think. I think that makes sense. Unfortunately, my colors are green, so maybe I can go into here and just kind of change this to be like a dark yellow or something gross. Yeah, let's turn it to dark green. Okay. So, and because this is like a magic color, it'll stay, whatever line I drew will stay that color. Something that Flash only added in on Animate like 20 years after Flash was around. So I got shield on, so if I add new line, yeah, see, this is now my past is now red. I'm curious about what all that's about, but it might just be all my modifiers, like if I turn these guys off today. Turn my keyframe off. Where's my... She got a big nose. Were those lines I grabbed? There's even some down here. I turned off the shrink wrap. Yeah, okay. I feel like I didn't do anything that would have that happen. I can't select these lines. I should be able to, there we go. And then delete. Okay, what happened? I wasn't looking. I'm gonna go back and forth. So, undo. Those were the new lines. So, that means that these lines are how they are, but if I delete these keyframes, go back to 1. Yeah, they're still like that, so. Okay, we'll just let this happen. We'll just let this happen. My shrink wrap's off. Oh, it's just shrink wrap that is doing that. That makes sense. Huh. I super smooth it. Add a little bit there. Yeah, okay. Cool. So that means when I was initially drawing it, it was somewhat off in some way. Interesting. Okay. But now I can go into frame 2. Let me turn off the snowflake. And if I draw new, everything's gone. It's good and bad. But that's fine. Let me go back. Okay. So now if I don't get it deleted until I draw something else. So I could just draw something up here just to start it. I think red's behind, actually. I think I did that right. So that's good. I think it's adding the modifier as I go. So it's okay. Oh yeah, I think I did some tapering or smoothings or something, so oh well. I'll just keep all these lines. Yeah, I think I thickened that line up. I want to add a blink, so I will change that. Maybe make her mouth a little smaller. So I can do something like that. Can I just turn off onion skin altogether? I guess custom skinnings, that's the way to do that. Or I can... I think I can eye it if I'm on it. Onion factor property cannot be animated. I just want to do this part. Oh. Okay. Fine. Why is it like blue? Is it because it went back to not custom color? So I do have to do it like this, but I can't keyframe this though. Let's do 2 on each. And I can not press E and just erase this line. That might get annoying that I have to like go to the next frame and then draw something to get this out of the way. But oh well. Now I can do like an in-between. Would like the opacity to be a little bit more visible. Yeah, that's okay. Let's go back through there. I just wanted to delete my line. Oh, here's vertex groups. So you can do something like that. Okay. Let's get it quickly. Go back in and redraw everything. You can see that the first version is probably the, because I cleaned it up, so it'll look the best. So, oh well. This probably also has the, yeah, shrink wrap on it. Otherwise, it'll be weird. I'll put that back on there. Okay. quickly sketch this back in. And so now we will do the in between here, and then an in between of the eye opening, maybe closing. So I could do lid half closed or something kind of like that, and then getting the eye in position. Something like that. Okay. So now one of these buttons is gonna let me turn off onion skin. And so now I got 3 keyframes. So I believe I can just do this regular animations now, where I can bring this out a bit. And I'm gonna re-time this. So if I play this, it'll close it. And then can't I just literally copy paste? No. Copy. Whoa. Paste. What the? Yeah, I wanted to paste my keyframe. There we go. And then copy. Paste. Yeah. And maybe move this a little bit sooner. Probably have, you know, obviously having more keyframes or breakdowns, but that works. I can have the animation last 30 frames, and if it hopefully loops, let's see that. Yay. So that's grease pencil animation, I guess. Whoa, I knew it was coming. Oh, excuse me. So excited. I'm wondering. Huh. Oh, what's this keyframe? This is this keyframe. Get out of here. So this should exist on its side. Obviously, if these were different objects and they were different stroke objects, they would stay on the side too. So there you go. You can have a little 2D animation on the side of a box if you really wanted that. This does open a lot of possibilities now. I can see being able to do, you know, hard surface modeling or some kind of character. Or we could do those maybe like a Spider-Verse kind of thing, where you can, or like add anime effects onto 3D meshes and have it exist, you know, like this little, like maybe like a swirly, you know, or if different things. I can have a new layer, and then let's erase. I can do something new. Let's have a stroke. Let's just have a stroke. Let's have be cute pink. And so now maybe I can just do some little effects. So you can imagine this being on a 3D object or something, and have these kind of floating around and animated or something. So there you go. Add little cheeks or something. Because it's on a separate layer, that's why they don't remove and they don't have their own keyframes, but it works. Yeah. I was just checking. I wasn't sure that this was the next frame. Okay. That's pretty cool. And it exists in 3D space, so that's pretty sick. Yeah, I could definitely see this being... I haven't seen much animated stuff. I know it's weird. It's like, I feel like when I'm just looking at 3D tutorials, it's like they always, you know, very, very specific, where they make a little scene. But it'd be cool to see. I think I watched one that was like a grease pencil, like on a vending machine, and they used it for adding I think it was like a cartoon vending machine where it had, that's on, let's make a new stroke. Let's just make a new stroke. Crease pencil, blank. Draw with dark blue or something. Where it was a vending machine that was a 3D model. And then, you know, all the different ways to do this. And then they had 3D bottles and stuff. And then for the labels, they then had .2D artwork on the labels. And so you would get all these fancy little pictures and stuff as pictures on the label on a 3D object of the vending machine, and adding little textures and stuff. So I would like to see like a little bit more advanced of that, of like taking that to the next step maybe, and then having little, maybe like the where you would put your card or something, having some little display on here, and this could be like animated or something, have keyframes for that, or you know, you're actually buying something so it'll come out of the chute or something that's at the bottom, which I did not leave room for. Or you could have the bottle fall out or something. But this is kind of, yeah, as a tutorial, they just kind of added a bunch of little lines like this and textures. And it's like, oh, that's nice. Okay. I understand it's a tutorial, but it's like, what's the next thing would be to add maybe something that's animated or something. Or it could be steam powered and it's got a bunch of smoke coming out of it. And it's like, oh, look, it's on fire now. Maybe the fire is a 2D element or something. I don't know. Whoops, it's now on flames. You know, there you go. But yeah, obviously I just drew all that, and that's now exists as an object. That's pretty cool. What I can make, let's try that. Let's make a box. I know I did that kind of with the first one where I kind of made this. I kind of made this circle. Look at that. Yeah. I can make my own box over here. Let's make a new thingy. And let's make it red. And go into draw mode. And let's add a square here. And then how are we doing? Nope, let me tell you one. Oh, it's over there. That's a problem. I can isolate it. Is that one of these to be, you know, not there? Edit mode. Select. Then I can just move all of these guys over. Almost. I did something. What did I do? What? I just pressed a bunch of buttons. Now I'm in like not C mode. Oh no. What did I do? I probably can like set everything back here. It's one of the thingies. Scope mode. I want to set the thickness. Now if I select everything in here, and if I set the radius high, can I Add. Oh no. I found a button and I didn't know what I did. What? What? I added too much strength. It was working. I just saw it over here. And it added the little... I just deleted it. Huh. Right, separated it? I don't know. Hopefully I can now just go back to edit mode and then select one of these guys. Looks like it went to a couple different layers here. I'm just trying to delete everything so I can start fresh again, and it looks okay. Huh. Oh. Oh. Okay. Yeah, take this and duplicate and then move it over. I got cube. Ooh. It's okay. Would you want to do it like that? Probably not. It's like a 3D pen. One of those. It's a little blurry now. Oh. Selecting it makes it blurry. Huh. Here's box. And there's ways to add a fill. I don't know if this will work now. But the individual boxes might make it work. Draw. There's a fill bucket. Does this work, or is it thinking? Oh, it added the... Whoa. That's what I mean, like I try to do different things, and it's like, please work, and it's like, uh-huh. I was just like experimenting, and it's like, yeah. What? I always get like either a crash from doing something like this, or I get the most unexpected results when trying to do. What's that? What were those tangents? I feel like I'm beta testing. I mean, I know this is very complete, but it's like, I don't know. I can't move my cursor anymore. I'm stuck. There we go. What are these? What's going on? What did I do? No. It's now that color. Is it also a stroke? No. So you gotta like line it up and then they work. It's like taking a screenshot from like one angle. Huh. If I just make something new, like if I make a new drawing, I will just do it on flat plane and give me just a regular old circle that's complete. That's complete. There we go. I know this belongs in a museum. Okay. That's a fill. Go to fill and say fill. I clicked it. Let's click it again. I've had it work before, so it should be there's no modifiers, there's no magic. It's got a pencil on it. Pencil gone. Can I read? How do I get that pencil back? It's a grease pencil with a GP layer. I can see it. Yeah, okay. I don't think there's anything else going on. This is it. There's no keyframes. It's regular. Fade. That's not gonna do anything. These are the colors. Here's a preview. It's blue. Yeah, I'm not sure. This is a new thing. Like this is a new object. Like it's not like sometimes if they're connected to like with the animation on this one where the smiley face will go away because it's part of the keyframes. Like if I go to the keyframe of this one, because I had it not appear in the next frame, that makes it disappear. But this block is its own thing. Yeah, this is why it's called learning, because it's like I'm not sure what happened and I can't explain it. Well, this is so cool. Look at this. Check that out. Huh. Yeah, we kind of line it up about like that with this blue square. Lines up with those outlines there. Huh. So, I can explain it, but not understand it, is that it was taking... Huh. I mean, it's a bunch of, games that kind of do this kind of effect. Where, it takes a screenshot and then you move it in 3D space and it'll stay in that kind of relative position. Huh. I've never seen it with Blender. It's cool. Okay. Let's go back. Let's go back to frame 1. Let's add a new cursor to world origin. And then give me... I haven't tried stroke yet. Scene line art. Add responsible to the scene. Quickly set up line art for the entire scene. Add a collection, object line art. Yeah, just give me a stroke. Oh, that just literally gives me... It just gives me a stroke. And that gets made out of way too many points. Now, if I would vector this, I would have a point at each of the curves. So start, point here, and point here. And then, yeah, I think I can just make it... I could just make a curve. And then give me a Bezier curve. Give it some thickness. How do I do that? I think I gotta solidify it. Geometry. There we go. So I can extrude it a little bit. And then I can put a point here. And then a point here. And then subdivide it. I don't see my subdivision though. Maybe I can... Okay. Let's do point here. It's in 3D space. Okay. Yeah, that's happening. And then go to just extrude it. Ooh, okay. So the point's actually here. And then we're just trying to figure out what's where and what's Watto and what's sure. Kind of grab this guy in, but I think let's just make it a little thinner. So if you have a little bit more tweaking, you can just have this work, but that's why I don't understand with some of this stuff. It's like someone wasn't a vector artist to like look at this and be like, hey, wait a minute. You don't really need that many points to make that same curve. Look at that. We got a 3D curve, and then we got the other stroke. Let's move this over. So I got the same general shape, the same silhouette, but the way that this works is that you can see every orange point is a point. And so that's nice, is that now I can kind of select some bips and then, I can have much more flexibility, but then I risk that I have to kind of move this many points around. It just makes it more unwieldy. It's like, I've wanted something to move, it's like, oh, I wanted a little bit more. I wanted to move this entire line, but then kind of to be able to select that entire line and curve it the other way, it means I have to do this many points, and it also moves the outer curve on the left side, that like N-shaped one. I can't really do that. Whereas with mine, I'll be able to, if I need this one to be the opposite way, you know, I could just do that and then wrap this bit. Maybe scale it out. But I'm able to select a lot more of the geometry all at once and then completely rechange how this works much more fluidly. It's just a rule of thumb that I've always kind of had in a lot of my vectors, is to have it be the least amount of points possible. So whenever I see this, it's like, it makes my brain hurt. I'm just like, oh no. Because I know if I wanted this to be go the opposite way or something, it's like, ugh. It's like, ugh, no. Like, what if I wanted it to be more down here? I wanted this to be all the way back. And it's like, okay, here we go. Oops, I took way too many parts of it. And it's like, okay, let me drag, I guess, this part down for that amount. Nope, I almost got waiting. Nope, it's got to be about there. And then I guess I'll move this one with this amount of influence. Nah. As soon as you kind of big any sort of destructiveness, what? As soon as you start being any destructiveness with it, it just falls apart, and it's just like, so what even is this shape anymore? You know? And it's like, cool, I have too many points to play with now, and it's like, yeah. Like, I wanted this to be back up here. That means I need to move these. Oh no, that point. Oh no. So it's bad to have that many points, is what I'm saying. So yeah. Hopefully there's this grease pencil. I can see if there's ways to do that a little bit easier. Where I'm just way simpler. I know it's smoothing and stuff, but I feel like it's still not where I would expect it to be. At the level. Where is my tweak? Give me another blank stroke. Color is in this tab. That's also something like, too many things are in different locations. That's like a little unwieldy. Then now I have to find this button is in this mode or this section. Like, these two could be in the same thing. There's not that much really in here, honestly. That can also be in here. I understand because the objects were separated by. You want the materials to be separate, but then you also have these grease pencil selecting stuff, and it's like, there's so many times where it's like you're interconnected so many times that you want to select the color of it. So it's like I have to go to different tabs to be able to see it. And it's like, draw mode. What was I even gonna do? I don't even know. Let's see. Oh, smoothing. Which I don't see much. Let's see. That's transform. Adjustments. Tint color. Oh, okay. Simulations. Display. Yeah, is there a way to, before, you know, I draw a line, can I know how much of a sorry, dirty person. There's no dirty person. From my view. Yeah, can I know how many points I'm going to use? This is speedball. Paintball material or color attribute? Does that just make it? Nope, that's a fill. Oh, I was in not draw mode. Let's see. Draw mode. Huh. That's cute. Okay. Yeah, give me a, I don't like this. Yeah, that's it. Okay. If I draw, it's that color, which should be different in this tab. Nope, that's no, it's this color. Give me it. Oh, but it's connected. I thought that'd be unconnected somehow. Huh. Because it's not a material though. It just gave me a bunch of what? It just gave me a palette of all these colors because I don't know how to color. No, but it's still this color though. If I draw again, it's yellow. But it shows this color. If I click this one again, yeah, it's still yellow. I said I don't want to use my material, I want to use this color. It's still yellow. But it says that it's blue. I'm not using use color attribute. Hey. I bring this back to a different color. That's blue. This is where I am trying to learn, and I'm trying to understand. Trying to understand the philosophy of this, but I'm not. What's the difference? Okay, beach ball material, green. Everything's green. Yeah, that's green. Blue, blue, not blue. It's green. Go to this one. Now it's green. And it's blue. That's green. Yeah, that's a different kind of green. No, this is purple. And it's green. There's a pin. Does pin make it? Nope. Okay. 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 I can pin this one. Yeah. Hey. Can I make my radius of my erase? Ooh, yeah, that's chunky. Because they're all different objects, I can go all the way around it and do that. Okay. Now that's not selected. That's sort of selected. That's pinned. This is blue. Draw. Green. How do I get this color then? Is that just imaginary where it's just, well, no, there's gotta be something. What about I said? Okay. Don't worry about that because I don't know what this is doing. Pin this one. Use. No, I can't change it. Oh, is it pinned to be one or the other? It's so green. If I remove my material, that's gray. That should only be able to use this one, right? So if I, nope, it's still gray. That's black. I want to understand. Oh, okay. Pre-selected mode when using this brush. Vertex color. Use always vertex color mode. What does that mean? This beach ball. Pre-selected mode when using this brush. Material. Use always material mode. Yeah, so I turned it off, right? And then... So what are you? What are you? It just is... Yeah, that just says color. Let's see, Cookie. Sorry. It's sort of a struggle of trying to figure this out. Go back to them and sing it. Have a nice weekend. Thank you, Cookie. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it so much. Okay. Jeez. Let's try something different. That was a little bit of a weird wash going on there. Okay. Radius makes sense. Good luck. Thank you. Huh? Okay. Turn it off. Okay, this makes sense. Radius. Radius of the brush is the taperness? Well, what strength? Color strength for new strokes. Apply after what? Effect alpha factor of color. What? These are different caps. Caps type. Round versus square. Square. Yeah, that gives me a whoop, 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 whoop. Square. Square cap. And this gives me, I guess that's a square cap, but just kind of rotated so it looks pointy. Now if I do the other one and then kind of go around this again. Ah. And so I guess this gives me a little different. And now it's a rounded cap instead of a square cap. Huh. Okay. I do like rounded caps, I think. It just happen to be square. In Flash, I like to have square caps. So then I would have to on every line to make this look like it's a flat, it goes to a point. I would have a square here, and then it would go into like a point, and then a point there. To make this into an exact triangle kind of point, I would have to take a square cap like this, and then move this point over to this one, and so it overlapped and becomes just a triangle, a triangle point, just for every line. I really did do that, where it's like, okay, there's no nice, ends at a nice point. Even this is still not. Where it just tapers. Yeah. Tapers to a nice, really tiny triangle point. Where it goes into like a nice woohoo. And you get this very, very sharp point. My Little Pony does that a lot for their, that's kind of like their style of taper points, taper lines for a lot of their designs. So like I wanted to mimic that, but trying to figure that out, I was like, ah. So I did find a video way, way long ago of someone vectoring Scootaloo, and they just took like a square cap and they just kind of brought it up and brought it to a point. It was a triangle point, and I was like, that's the best I got. Let's adapt that. And I was like, it's okay. So I did that for so long. Yeah, I don't even know. It's probably not the best practice with doing that, because it took time, because I had to convert every vector line into a curved line. Where I had to convert, a nice, you have a nice curve that has, point. Yep. Restart my music. Point. I might get a different color for those, so it's a little easier. Oh, mine. Where you go? New color. Okay. So I'd have point. It's really dark, but you can see it. I would vector that out, but then would end in a square point, square cap. And it's like I want to end in this nice triangle point like that, and so I would have to convert this into a curve, which would be like that line that I was making, those two lines where the stroke. I gotta show that to tell. I keep forgetting that. I literally have a show that I can show you this. And instead of it being all of these different tiny points, why can't I see points? Yeah, this one. So trying to. I can't see my orange points anymore. Am I not in the right stroke? This one. There we go. I wasn't selecting the right one. I wasn't highlighting it. So this would be a converted to curves kind of style instead of the nice way that I made my version where it had like 4 points to make the same thing. So I had to convert my really, really nice, perfectly like optimal, super optimal lines. It'd be like perfect, but then it would end in a square. It'd be like, I want to end it in a point, a triangle point, instead of a square. So I would have to go through every line that I wanted it to happen and then converted it into this mess. And I'd be like so sad because it's like I made this so perfect with the grain style one. And it'd be like, man. And it'd be like my no going back kind of like, okay, this is the line. And it's like, I can't really edit this very nicely. I can't get the whole line very nicely. And it's like, I can't work with this. So there was always so many art struggles. You never know. You never see. You never care. I was like, so messy, so bad. I mean, look at that. Look at all those points. I hate this many points. This is so unoptimal. It's just not good. I'll zoom in a little bit more to this mess. What's this parallax going on? It's just and once is uneven. Toon Boom does this with some stuff when you're doing brush strokes. It tries to optimize it a little bit. There are some weird dots like this, but it's not usually as bad. Or the brushes are better. You have more options for brushes in Toon Boom, so you don't have to worry about the weird unoptimization of brush lines. Is why I like doing vector, because like I can literally just have a straight line. Get in here. I can have a straight line and then say, hey, straight line, you want to do this shape? And it's like, yeah, okay. And then I can just bend it into how do I radius? I have to manually say my radius. I guess so. Okay, we're going higher. Up. Zip. I got the other one. It's not even that good either. Look how not good that is. Guess I need to do the whole thing, which would be like more big. No, I guess it has to be in the middle and a little bit lower. Yeah. Huh. Can I do it the other way? No, it's even worse. Because that's too many points that it's not like a straight line, so it's not able to just bend it perfectly to the other way. It's able to do it pretty well, but then it's like, okay, well, now we do this. Maybe not. No, I gotta do it way lower. And then, nope, see, I got that much. Let me just play with this now. It's like, if this had less going on, I'd be able to... Oh, is it over too much now? Yeah. That's why they added the skull mode, just so you can... Ugh. Where was it supposed to be before? I don't know. See, yeah. God. This other thing. Oh, I can't bring that back. Oh, I got the other thing. Oh, no. Nope. A little too less. Yeah, that a little more. Oops. Oh. Oh, my pretty line. I guess that's what this move's for. Smooth it. whoa! That's actually pretty good. Guess I could just do that and then just... This is where it's like, well, we did it, team. We got all these tools that will work together, and you got to do all of them together. And it's like, for me, it's like, well, why didn't you just make it easier to begin with? And it's like, oh, yeah, that would have been actually nicer. And it's like, wait, I'm having to fight so hard. Why? Let me just move this over, I guess. No, I just want to make these. I can make two little lines, but I could just kind of push all of it over carefully. And then just smooth it. Meow. Yeah, that's not bad, but just having to like have to do it that way is like not what I like. Especially if it gets more complicated with a lot more lines, or just way too many complex lines that you want to do, like more S curves that, you know, an S curve that becomes a C and then a reverse C or something, and it's like, oh, can you make this better? And it's like, what do you mean? And it's like, okay, let me just want this to be smooth or something, and it's like, okay, you're probably not supposed to play with it that much, but it's like, jeez. And then I just smooth it, and I go, wow. Yeah, it's not that bad, but it's like, you gotta know, you gotta have to know what you want, and then you gotta have enough skills to be able to do a line that's close to what you want, and then mold it a little bit to like kind of get it exact, and then smooth it, and then it's like, that's, it seems like a lot of steps. I don't know. Let me move this up a little, I guess, and then move this down, and then go around it. Yeah, I don't know. It's not horrible, but it's like, ugh. It just gets a little frustrating in this kind of mode where it's like, you're just trying to sculpt it into a nice curve, and it's like, there's no way, so you have to get another tool just to do that, and then it kind of overshoots it a little too much, unless you probably bring it straight down, I guess, and then they don't really know what you're doing then. Is this doing anything? It's not bad. I guess it's okay. I don't know. It's just not ideal for the way that I'm used to drawing, so. Oh dear. Well, what did we learn today? Jeez. Well, you can make a little animation on the side of a box. It looks pretty cool. Maybe I'll use it for the movie. I don't know, or maybe some other projects. The fill tool may or may not work as expected. Drawing in 3D is pretty cool. I never tried the VR 3D, one of those. Is there a Google one or something? Whatever VR drawing tools where like you're painting in 3D space. I never tried that, but I would like to, because this seems kind of fun where you can draw shapes like this and have it exist in 3D space is pretty cool. Using it as a tool, you know, using 2D elements as a additive little thing is embellishments, and adding more details is probably pretty good. Drawing lines aren't that bad, but it just feels like you're just drawing with like a like a stone tablet, kind of like chiseling at it. The amount of precision you get is okay, but I don't know. It definitely doesn't feel one-to-one when I draw. It's like I draw something and it's like, oh, I guess that's what I drew. Okay, and then it takes a lot more longer to draw something because you always have to go back and then resculpt it and then smooth it and then clean it up and then yeah. Which I guess any drawing tool is gonna be like that, but it's like you can't expect like to draw a line and then have it look what you want, you know, on the first try. There's a lot of different effects. Like I think I got the blur a little bit on here. I got the blur on here. Yeah, check that out. Whoa. So render out kind of blurry. So that's pretty cool. And it's got different other effects I didn't even try. There's a glow one. I don't even see what it's... Is it doing anything? I can't really see. But yeah, it'd be nice to have some of these in regular modeling. With 3D modeling. Because with 3D modeling, you don't really get those ones. Like, those are just gone. Like, that whole option menu is just gone. And you get all these other types of modifiers that are just good for hard surface. And a little bit of other fun stuff like ocean stuff in physics. But, yeah. It's not bad, but I don't know. I'll probably try it, but it was always kind of look... I think there's different markers. Probably want to try that as well. Instead of a pencil. Yeah, there's different types. I didn't even try any of these yet. So maybe next time I'll do another stream where I go through a lot more of the other more intermediary, more advanced types of tools here. Be able to understand what this stuff is. This color thing didn't make any sense. Whereas like you get a palette, but then it draw it and then it doesn't use this color. So I don't know what that's about. So all in all, it's okay. I was always hesitant to like really, you know, do any of this kind of grease pencil stuff because obviously I was a little kind of fixed on doing 2D textures in Flash because I wanted all of the textures to look identical as the 2D Flash stuff I was already making. So it just made sense to draw everything that I had for the Paper Derby movie, like especially the train scenes, train segment, is that I wanted to go back and forth between 2D and 3D sets, and so it just made sense to use the textures for the textures on the 3D models would be to use the pictures and drawings that I already made for the backgrounds in Flash, and then just import those as images and literally just stick them onto the objects, you know. Then it makes sense to like redraw it inside of here, you know, these kind of tools. So maybe I could do some small embellishments, or now that I know that I can do weird stop motion kind of animations inside of here, or just regular 2D animation now. I can do that. Not stop motion. I can also just move the whole box, right? Oh. I think I would need to parent them. There you go. That was just a simple parent configuration there. So now I can animate this. Go back. Let's do this real quick. This will be the last thing I'll do a keyframe on everything, and then I'll go to the end and then say rotate on Z 359%, and then oh, that almost worked. Give me a curve graph editor. give me Z rotation, isolate it, please, and then see what's going on here. So I see a bunch of different keyframes. I want to turn everything off besides my Z ruler rotation, and then see that there's a couple other keyframes here, so I can delete these maybe. And then make this linear, and then move that over. Yay, spinning. There you go. Oh no, it's selected. I got spinning cube, and if you're watching, then on one frame, the animation is still going. I can watch it. This angle. Yay! So you can do still 3D animation and then put 2D elements on top of the box and then have appearance and do stuff like this. So there you go. My wild mess of everything. So cool. Blender is cool. I like it. I feel like some of the features may need to be a little bit more developed, but that's what all of the foundation's for. So it's free, but I always encourage you to do a little donation if you're able to, because they're providing a incredible software, and you can do stuff like this, and maybe even better than me. Who knows? So yeah, let's go to toaster time. Okay. Yeah, that was fun. Let me turn it down a little bit. Yeah. So I'm back into swing of things. I want to keep working on stuff. I got that big project I want to work on. This is just me fooling around to see, experiment what works best. I like doing that, just to do a little bit of R&D, research and development, to see what works. I like trying to do a bunch of different techniques, see what works, what doesn't, and then try to figure out what's the most optimal way to do things, or just the best method for me to work on something. Because I like, as I said with the train scenes, I was going to do After Effects. I was like, oh, this should work. I know how to do After Effects. This should work. You know, of course it should work. And then I ran into limitations where I couldn't really add in polygons or something. Or I was doing that with like cards. Like imagine like a pack of cards, like playing cards, and then try to assemble those into like benches, and then it just didn't work out the way that I intended it to. So it's like, okay, maybe I should use After Effects for giant scenes. Because I really only planned like at most maybe 2 or 3 sequences or shots. Really just like 5 seconds worth of the whole movie was going to be in 3D. Well, I wanted that to only be for like cool, you know, impossible to do in 2D animation kind of stuff. You know, kind of floaty, big camera movements or big dramatic things, or you know, zooms or whatever. It'd be hard to do with 2D backgrounds or elements or something. You know, some big monster or something comes out. It's like, I don't want to 2D animate that or something. So, and then it just developed, like once I started to learn Blender, it's like, oh, that's not that bad. So then I was like, oh, okay, I already designed and actually made a 2D plate of the city way beforehand. It was like the opening shot of chapter 3, and I was like, cool, I like this. Looks great. And then I was like, well, what if I made the whole city in 3D? And then it spent like probably like a whole month or something modeling everything. And then I was like, well, I still have that 2D plate of the background of like a super skyline kind of up bird's eye view kind of angle. And I was like, huh, you know, I don't want to get this go, you know, I don't want that to go to waste either. So I left that in. and then it transitions to the 3D. So it kind of goes back and forth a lot. Like a lot of there's like some shots that in the trash can sequence in the city, a couple of the close-up shots where it's just Derpy getting a bunch of stuff on her face. Those backgrounds were in 2D, where they were just literally just a color card. So I was like, I don't need to render this in Blender. So there are some shots that even in later sequences that are just 2D background cards. So yeah, I like to mix up. So but yeah, I've been meaning to really get back on the horse with the movie again, really try to work on it. And of course, at the same time, I'm like, ooh, what about a Halloween short? And so this is me doing an R&D for that. So I can do some sort of Shadow Puppet Halloween thing that I want to figure out what's possible, what's not. But of course, that's taken a lot of time to figure out what I can and can't do. So, because my original idea was to use the grease pencil and then have that be shine through the transparent screen so I could see the light through it. And I don't know now, because I can't have that work. Like those elements don't like to interact well with each other. Like light doesn't pass through it well enough, or it does, but then it becomes like it would need to have a higher point sample, and it's like, great, I'm not sure if I want to do that. Maybe it can work, but I feel like I can just polygon model some flat things anyway. So I was like, well, let me figure out how to draw first in here in Blender, so I can have some 2D sketches so I can make my 2D flat shadow puppets. So gotta learn how to draw. So that's what this stream was. So we'll see for next stream. Thank you, Ben. Good stream. Thank you. Yeah, we'll see for next time. I'll figure out whether or not I want to continue with this short, or should I just keep working on the movie. Yeah. I did do a little bit of movie stuff yesterday. I 3D modeled a big asset, so that was good. An essential object in the next chapter. So I started to model that yesterday. So that was good. But yeah, now that my plan is slowly falling apart, I'm trying to backpedal and figure out what I can do for next stream now. What or not I want to do, because I can't really progress with the Halloween thing the way that I wanted it to, so I'll have to do it a different way. So yeah, maybe we'll just, I don't know. I'll figure it out. You don't have to worry. Yeah, let me get some water, and then we'll see if there's anything else we can talk about. And then I just need to stop talking for just a little bit here, so hang on. Ooh, that's good. Okay. Yeah, hydrate. Woo, woo, woo. Let's see. Yep, so next stream will be something. Would like to do a Halloween thing. Maybe we'll bring back Cookie and Star for something, maybe. No, it's gonna be hard because if I bring on both of them at the same time, their skill sets are so diverse that it's hard to do both. It's hard to do, like, because Star's not an artist, and then Cookie, I don't know how much of a gamer. Problem is that Star is also not able to get NSO, so I won't be able to do like Smash Bros or something like that, or something together. Yeah, I don't know. If you guys see this, you can let me know. What would you like to see, or what you'd be down for and or up for, because those mean the same thing. Yeah, I'm excited for Halloween, just to figure some build an animation for that out. And then we're gonna movie. Jeez. Because I wasn't here last week, the Direct, the Nintendo Direct with the Paper Mario remaster of That's in Your Door, I was over the moon excited. As you know from the Paper Derpy movie, you probably can then extrapolate that I like Paper Mario, which means that I like That's in Your Door the best. It was the first Paper Mario played. I still have the original GameCube disc, and so I got it. So I got it when it was relatively new in the GameCube era. So I played that, and it was, I guess, life changing. So I'm very excited. I hope that they have a physical release of the remake, so I can have both versions on my shelf. That'd be great. I'm just so happy about that. I was like, well, I hope for when I do my director cut extended version where I put all of the whole movie together in one video, I would also redo a bunch of the scenes. I was thinking that I would also remodel everything, so all the background and props would look like Origami King or the Dozen Years Old remake, where everything would look like they're made out of cardboard. And then I was like, oh, this might be actually be kind of hard, because I wouldn't know how to exactly do that, and then the amount of work of redoing every asset that I made. Yeah, so I might make some of the objects, the 3D objects, look more smooth. I think in the first couple, I think I was conscious of like how many polygons. I was thinking like it was like a video game where it's like, oh, I can't have more than an octagon for some smooth circles. It's like it's got to be, hexagon or octagon, which creates its own charm, but it definitely kind of stands out now. And I was like, oh, wow, why is it literally a polygon? So maybe we'll go back to some of those assets, and because I was worried that polygon count would eat up. It probably would eat up a lot of make the render slower to render out when I finally do my final pass and get all the videos out of the shots, individual shots. But I don't know. I think my computer is probably a little better, and I'm probably more adept to handling that, and I can really handle it being a little longer. For time wise, so probably go back and instead of like completely redoing every asset in a better style or a different style, I'll probably just make everything smooth, which should be easy somewhat if I do the subdivision modifier, which just makes everything a little too smooth, so I have to like kind of dial that back and add some extra polygons to make it know where the creases are. Otherwise, everything just becomes like a ball or something. It rounds it out too much. So, yeah, I'm excited to do that, even though I'm not done with the actual movie yet. So it'll probably still take a while. It's probably gonna be longer than. It's probably gonna be the longest chapter. The upcoming one's gonna be the longest chapter time-wise. So. Right now it's sitting around, I guess, 300 frames, 3000 frames. What is it, like 140 seconds? What's 140 seconds? Like 2.5 minutes or something. It's gonna be long. It might be like 3 to 4 minutes long. I'm kind of scared because like there's a lot of different segments to it. But yeah, I took some work in progress pictures of the model I made yesterday that I started. I didn't finish it yet, but I'll probably post some of those on my Patreon. So if you want to see some spoiler behind the scenes and get some assets and a lot of music stuff, or you can get the art pack, the goodie bag from the Sunny's Dream. Remember that? my I'm going through every genre that's called visual novel. My visual novel game that I made at the beginning of the year, of this year. If you want to get that, it's a $1 minimum if you buy it on the game page, but if you want it technically for free included, you can buy it not through. You can buy a Patreon. I'm so good at this. If you, yeah, on Patreon.com, if you pledge, let's just say $1, then you can get the whole bunch of different assets, whole bunch of spoiler stuff for the movie, and also get the goodie bag from the Sony stream. So it's pretty good, and you get to support me. So every month you'll pledge a certain amount monthly, and that'll go directly to me, and so that'll let me buy some food, which I probably am hungry right now. So please pledge. But yeah, link to the description. What? The link would be in the description for the Patreon. I'm getting lightheaded as well. So, yeah, have a good day. I'll be back next week for more of this and or not. So, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming back, even though it's been 2 weeks. So I appreciate you coming back for more of this wild stuff. Wow. Anyway, yeah, thank you. Okay, yeah. See you guys next time. Alrighty. I think I said everything, so yeah. If not, I'll probably say it next time. So okay, thank you guys. Bye bye. See ya.